So, coming to you here in a very, 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 very good morning to all my. Oh, Jesus, hot. You know what this is. So, of course, it's a fucking hot tea. A very good morning. It sounds like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood or romper room. Good morning to you, everybody out there. I see you and you and you. That's like a romper room. Captain Kangaroo. I would have been a good, show host, like that. Mr. Rogers. Did they make the movie? Tom Hanks played like a Mr. Rogers, but they really played it like methodically, like where he was like a weirdo or something like that. You want to look at like Tom Hanks, where it's like, oh yes, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Like made him out to be like a weirdo or something like that, but he wasn't. Fred Rogers was actually a good person, family guy, everything. I don't know if he had kids, but I know he was married and stuff like that. He wasn't like this weird, pedophile, quote unquote. They try to make it out like Tom Hanks was a weirdo, like with that creepy preview. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do there. It doesn't fucking matter. I always that's the thing is, the topic has nothing to do with my open. I open with something completely different. I try to always address the topic, but sometimes I just feel like because I go live, I just do what I feel. Like I go on feeling. Now, I kind of feel like I've moved away from the narrative of why I started this channel. But you know what? Please do not make no mistake. I have not forgotten about making progress of why I started this channel. But you have to understand that everything is kind of tied in for a reason. Hot but good. Chai spice tea. I've been up for a little while, up all night like usual, but that's okay. So it's good sometimes to push yourself. Um, Stay awake longer. Look, man, you only get one go around. One of the problems I feel like in my life is that you know I said I keep saying that to myself. I only get one go around, and I kind of took these big risks in life, gambling. Like I go to casino. I told you I thought I had a system, and the system was working. Here, I'll shoot it to you straight. It was basically what I would do. There was this Pai Gow poker game, and I'm not gonna. If you want to know how to play the game, then you can research that on your own. But anyway, what I would do is write down all the information of the spots won or lost. I'd keep just a running tally or push. There's a lot of pushes in that game. And then when I saw like a spot lose 4 or 5 in a row, I'd start to like I'd make like some uh, not big bets, but like decent sized bets. And then if they just kept losing, then I would keep pressing it. And then if I saw like so overdue, I'd really load up on it to the maximum that the spot could allow. And it was working because I was right more than I was wrong. I mean, I was making like 2,000 a day. I was walking out the door consistently for about a week, and then at the end of like I think on the seventh day or eighth day, I don't know what the fuck happened. Just the system didn't work. I was like felt like I was just getting lucky or something. I just kept being wrong every time. And then this one time I went there, oh my god, like you know. A lot of variables. As you can understand, there's a lot of variables in cards, and even a professional card counter, blackjack, they could get what I don't care what the count is. They could just the extreme. I call it the extremes. The extremes could happen, and then you're making these crazy bets to try to break even, and you walk out the door losing. I mean, I just don't know. They glorify it with movies like 21, like saying, oh, these MIT mathematicians, they have this system where, it's guaranteed they're going to win. It's good for them, good for them. But, I basically, I just couldn't handle it after a while, the losses, that one hellacious loss, doesn't matter. You win like let's say you win 2,000, 5 days in a row. and then the 6th day you lose 10,000, so you're back to zero. Um, well, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to quit when you're down. How do you know? How do you know? A spot loses like 10 in a row. It's due to win, right? What are you gonna do? Not bet it? You know, it's that's the whole system. The whole system is to, it's gotta fucking every spot wins, loses eventually. So, sitting there all these spots and they all lost. It was just awful. It was just kept losing and losing and losing. It was a huge extreme, and you know that's gambling. Now, it's not like the stock market where like you're investing in something, and there's a big difference between speculation and investing. I read The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, who was Warren Buffett's like predecessor. So you got to understand, like, it's like, well, everything's gambling. Well, if you say that, that's a vague kind of thing. There's different types of gambling. Now think about like Vegas. Why do you think the hotels, the casinos are on the floor and all the rooms are right upstairs? Because they know, they want you to keep playing. You're gonna get tired. Okay, hey, there's your room right there. There's food right there. But stay here, because sooner or later you keep playing, you're gonna lose. The odds are you're gonna lose. Even if you win, you want to go back, going to come back. Eventually, you're going to lose. Look, my friend, let's call him HK. He's kind of like a professional gambler for many years. We go to Vegas and casinos, but what happens is, like the way that we're wired, we're kind of like we're compulsive, and we lose, want money back, and the stress and everything like that. So it's just kind of like it pulls you down, and a line just had to be drawn where it's like, we just can't do this shit anymore. So I gave up. He gave up. I gave up. And it's like, you kind of find other ways to make money legitimately. Some people say it's not about the money. I don't know. I can do analysis on this. You know, if you're one of these people where, hey, it's a little fun for you, it's not a problem. Hey, so be it. Go in and knock yourself out, enjoy it. But let me tell you something, man. I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. Like when I played cards, whatever, I really went for it. I tried to make what I consider real money, and you know, you got to put up for that. And I just couldn't do it. I tried for a couple decades actually. I'm not knocking Vegas. Actually, I feel like owning a property there is actually a good thing. There's actually more than you can. I believe you could take from Vegas instead of Vegas taking from you. There is good places to eat. There is like fun lounges to go dancing, maybe meet women. Just enjoy everything. There is clubs out there. You know, place to work out. Lots of the free the night. I don't drink anymore either, but that's my point. What are you gonna do? You're not drinking. You're not gambling. Hey, you know what? There's plenty of shit to do. You just have to. I don't even know how to say it. It's like you can make modifications. To the way that you are. Remember, I talked about throwing out the hardwiring that's not working for you. You can do the same thing with things that don't work. Like you don't have to etch things in stone. It's kind of like, I mean, things that are really bad for you. If they're really a problem, yeah, you can get help. You can do things, but you know, to say because oh, you have a gambling problem, you can't go to Vegas and not, make investments. That's different. It's just there's this kind of vibe there that I just love. That just that night, the desert, the lights, it's all of it. It's all of it. The tourist people, they're there to have a good time. There's something about walking up and down the strip. It's like it's for me. It's like adult Disneyland. It's like for the gays, it's like West Hollywood for them. But for me, it's like Las Vegas is for me. That's my Disneyland. Um, you should be able to have and enjoy and a life of enjoyment. Else, what's the point? Why be here? Some people are here just to be schlep rocks. Some people are, I don't know what people do. I know what I enjoy, and I'm just, maybe I'm a little different than most people. Um, but I really thought those games could be beat, um, if you could build an edge. And I mean, there's people, they try to sell programs. They say it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Hey, maybe they have a system that works for them. A professional, like Blackjack Apprentice. I remember I used to listen to that guy, but you know, doesn't mean you don't have to. Life doesn't have to be like that. Just because it's a gambling town. There's plenty of people that make money off of the tourists. People that don't gamble. I know this guy that was putting on a like a lounge act thing with a band or 70s music, and he saw me dance at the end of the night. He was like, hey, if you think about like being a pro dancer, like a locker, dancing with us, it's like you make like $100 a night doing this, and we go to other gigs, $100 a show. And I said, I appreciate the offer, but you gotta understand, man, for me to relocate here for like, $100 a show, and then you might let me go. That's just, I can't do it. I need like a real contract, something for some real money. And that goes, if I get, unless you get hired like a government job out there, a post office or something that's like more ironclad, that's different. But, now if you're young and you want to try Vegas, I say go for it, because you're young and everything. But when the age starts kicking up there, now, you're pushing like, especially 50, um, you better, you know, you should have something put away by that time. If you don't, there's a reason why. Now, if you had a business that failed, you still have the business savvy. Just, I want you to really remember this. If you get anything off like this is really kind of an important point. If you got a business that went under, and you're like just like saying, dude, I didn't make it. I'm a failure. This and that. I want you to really think about this. Number one, you tried. Okay, that's huge. You're not a failure for trying. All right, you're not a failure for trying. Okay. And let's say you're not doing anything right now. You're kind of like, it didn't work. It didn't work. Hey, we've all been there. Or at least I know I have. I call this like kind of weathering the storm kind of thing. And look, you're just kind of laying low for a little while now. Clear your mind. It's like with me, I didn't pass my comp exams the first two tries a couple months ago. And I was just, look, man, I went to school for 50, I went to college for 15 years, okay? I've been in a doctoral program for, well, doctoral level work for, let's say, 3.5 years. At this one school for a year and a half. So, because I earned my specialist degree, which is doctoral level, it's not a doctorate degree, but the work was transferable at doctoral level, and it's a specialist education degree. So, it's not a certificate, it's not a postmaster's degree, it's a educational EDS, educational specialist degree, which is, I don't care what anybody says, it's doctoral level. It's not a doctorate though. Big difference, I know. Anyway, to get to doctoral candidate, you need to pass the comp exams, and my school offers 3 chances. I failed the first two. Okay, actually, there were 3 questions. I passed the first one, so I just needed to take two, pass the second two, and on the second try, I barely missed passing the second two. So now I got a third try coming up next week. So, like, for the past month and a half, I've been just like, you say the word school to me, and I just start flipping out because I've been doing this for years and years and years, and this is the first time that I've really been, felt like I've been screwed really hard. Um, every degree I've pursued, there's always been a little turbulence. It has not been easy. But this has been the biggest dip. I mean, I had to take 6 months of applied statistics. I mean, I fucking really, just completely worthless fucking garbage. But I got through it. I got charged with academic dishonesty, which is, I got that discharged. Point, I went through a lot of fucking bullshit, man, to pass all my classes, but I did. Um, so, like, if you own a business and shit fucking because of COVID. Look, COVID killed a lot of people, man. I mean, metaphorically, but I'm talking about a business now. I'm talking about a business, and I feel you. I feel you. Okay, but we're coming out of it, and even if we're not, I still think you can make it online. You know, maybe the person-to-person thing, the old school way, the brick and mortar thing, whatever you did, it doesn't work anymore. Like it's cool, but you got the knowledge. You still got the knowledge. You might not have money, but you got the knowledge, and maybe you could somehow get, with what you've done in the past, get some business startup. Because I've heard of like COVID, like grants and stuff, and business. That you're not done. Okay, if you really like got your ass kicked like I did with the school thing, failed twice, but I'm getting another chance. And I thought about it. I said, okay, I'm gonna take. I gotta accept it to other doctoral programs. Not a big deal. So I think about it like you. Your business went okay. If your business went down, it's not a big deal. Okay, use the knowledge that's in the past. Go forward. Actually, I should point that way because the greater than is that way. Less than is that way. You know the symbol, math. So go. Give it another try, man. You ain't done. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I've been knocked down really fucking hard, pacing around. I mean, you said that if you said the word, my friends asked me how was school. I just fucking just, don't talk to me about it, man. I fucking wrote 65 pages over two comp exams, 65 pages, and I didn't pass. There's dissertations that are a lot long. I'm not even got a dissertation thing. Can't even get there. There's a stupid one of these stupid fucking assholes on my committee. I got rid of him. Finally, it wasn't easy. I got rid of that fucker. So, you know, I feel you. I feel you. If things aren't going your way, and look, a lot of people. I know. I wasn't doing good anyway before COVID. This hasn't helped me. Okay, but you just remember, if you're getting older, you've got life experience. You got life experience that has value. I know people size you up based on what you have to offer. They look at your car, they look at your house, they look at what you look like, they look at what your bank account. I know, but that's why I don't watch television, because all this shit psychologically warps, your thinking, and society judging you and everything like that. I try to go against, I go against the, you know, get my news, yeah, online or listen to a little radio. That's enough. I don't. A lot of this shit, if it doesn't concern me. It ain't moving me forward. I don't give a fuck about it. I'm sorry. It's just, how I think about life. Sometimes it's better not to deal with people if you don't have to. Yeah, I look at my in my lobby. That's funny. I almost said that. In my living room, like I have like my college degrees framed. They're against the wall kind of thing. And I don't put them up because God forbid there's an earthquake. As you can see, there's nothing framed behind me. There's nothing. But I look at them sometimes and I think about, wow, how many years I put in to get. There's like I have 4 degrees. 3 of them are framed, my bachelor's, my master's, and my EBS. And I go, fuck, I didn't get my bachelor's till I was 41. Okay. And I didn't get my master's till I was 44. And I got my specialist degree at 46. And now I'm on the verge of doctoral candidate. I'm not far from 48. It's like, fuck, dude, I put in all my 40s, feels like, and that don't mean there's no guarantee of that of anything. I mean, I didn't know what else to do with my life, I know I wanted to make money, but I didn't want to be some schlep rock, I wouldn't compromise my, what is it, sit on your laurels, your morals? I don't know what they say, but I just like, I forget who it was in my family said I was real stubborn. I don't know. My Uncle Mike told me, you don't want to work. Not true. Wrong. I just don't want to work for anybody else. Like, I want to be a partner or somebody, like, because if you're not somebody's partner, guess what? You're the one getting fucking whipped. Sorry to say that I use that analogy, but it is true. It is true. You just don't, really want to realize that. You're like a schleprock, a pack animal, a mule. That's what they do. They're, yeah, they keep them alive, but they're there to work. And then if they drop off, then they just put another one in there. Like, it's not special. They might use some psychological ploy words to say, hey, good job, dude. Big fucking deal. They don't give a fuck, dude. You're nothing special. And I hate to say that, but I'm kind of like just trying to tell you the way that it seems that a lot of these big corporations are run. And I'm not that kind of person, because in my mind I feel like I am special. My mom joked to me, like she's saying, "You getting your COVID shot?" And I said, "Absolutely not." She goes, "What's wrong with you?" It's because it doesn't apply to me. She goes, "What?" She goes, "Well, who do you think you are, the chosen one?" And I go, "Absolutely." I thought the chosen one was Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, but my friends just call me that. Some of them, they go, the chosen one. I view on what this vaccine is, and what I think this vaccine is. There's some type of thing that to control people's minds in it. It's not as simple, and it's there's something that I got my own views on this. It could be along the lines of population control. It could be along the lines of some type of mechanism that once enough people have it, they could flip a switch, and then all of a sudden everybody becomes like zombies. You don't know. You don't know. And for the final and third time, you don't know. Okay. Um, I heard this on Coast to Coast last night there, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. The social credit system. I think whatever's going on in China, what they're trying to do, just like they brought the virus here, they want to bring their virus, quote unquote, here, and what their society. They want to bring their type of work um, system here, their social credit system. So mark my words. This is just part of their grand plan, their ploy, and I'm sorry to say, I mean, I have nothing against them personally, but I just feel like, dude, this is I'll make a 9/11 comparison, but I won't get into it. Okay, how are wars generally started? Uh, what happens is, they attack us, U.S., and then we go and we fuck them up. So remember Pearl Harbor, um, then gave us a reason to go into World War II, to join in. 9/11 gave us a reason to create to go after the war on terror. They have weapons of mass destruction, but they blew up our trade centers and whole thing. Um, so maybe like just as COVID, China, they sent us COVID, then it's kind of like gives us a reason. One more event like that will give us a reason to go declare war on them. I, and who's to say that? I mean, I know I'm going down the rabbit hole here, but bear with me. Who's to say like that we're not part of the catalyst that created it? Um, no, they said there could have been, U.S. Army involvement in Wuhan, scientists in some lab there. So you kind of get the follow here that just like 9/11, who's to say like it's like, okay, hey, we need you to do this event, which gives us a reason to go. Didn't Hitler even burn down the Reichstag building? So don't put things to anything past your mind, okay? You have to open your mind to every and any possibility. Now, I'm going to do a full expose on 9/11 next month, but a lot of people, they're just too emotionally tied to it, to where it's like their mind is set in stone. This has happened, the end of story thing, case closed. And you're not understanding that more than likely, and when I say more than likely, I mean more than likely, that the narrative you have been sold is so far from the truth that you are just being misled, my friend. And that's what most sheep are. They're just misled. They're not lions. A sheep is generally needs to be told where to go, used for their wool. In your case, used for your labor, and recycled if necessary. You just need to see the big picture, and there's a lot that you don't know. Um, and it's just not simple. There's facts, but you need to like open your mind. It's kind of like in chess, you got to open your mind to see like why things have developed the way they have. And it's like analysis. And if you can do that, then you can start to paint the picture of what is really going on and why. Remember, I made the analogy. You know, you don't. It's like not many people know who created television. That's not what's important. What's important is what's on television, or the people that decide what to put on television. Do you understand? So, like, let's say the whoever created television is like God. Well, what's important is not trying to figure out who God is. What it is you should be trying to figure like who is putting what's on TV, like who's making the decisions. That's modern day God. That's like the controllers. You need to understand what is going on. But most people are just trying to, they just can't see past their own, they don't understand they don't understand what's going on, because the news and the media don't really, news and the media are not designed for you to open your mind. They're there just to kind of like do generically inform you of certain things, but not do deep analysis. That's where the research comes in. And most people just can't be bothered. They're not going to do that. They can't be bothered. You'll never be able to get to the bottom line of, like, the stuff like the JFK assassination. You can't, because you see the powers that be make sure you don't. Like, you have to understand something. I don't know if you were around that morning or how old you were the morning of 9/11. Again, I'm not going to go full into it. I won't. Not until next month. But I will. These are a little bit of teasers. It's like kind of like I'm opening up some previews as we start to get a little closer. Now, there's plenty of evidence, news evidence of agents moving evidence there. Now, I saw there were camera people recording after the plane struck. People were running. There's video of FBI agents moving evidence to take pictures. Not walking off, really. Well, they were walking off a little bit, but they were taking airplane parts away from their location to be photographed. I saw it. I remember there's news media showing things. As far as I know, you're not supposed to move evidence around. I don't know who gave them the permission. Everything comes from, it's like in the military, everything goes to higher rank, tells you what goes on. And then, somebody above them tells them, somebody above them tells them what to do. So there's a lot of shit that did not make sense. On the grounds of the Pentagon, there were people walking off. I think there were agents walking off with airplane parts they carry in their hand. Who said you could walk off with that shit, man? Where are you going with that? That's evidence. It away without, like, so something, something's rotten in Denmark. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this because that will be for next month. But I want you to understand that what I just told you is like this compared to what I'll be getting into is this. Okay? It's the big cover up, literally. What do? They moved everything after those buildings came down. They cleaned it all up. I don't know, they had like fountains or something. I thought they were turning into a park. And what did they do? Literally build one building, one new building. Literally cover up whatever happened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. I have a friend, Ruben, and nice guy and everything, but he has a very, very, very closed mind when it comes to this subject, and he does not understand that no steel frame structure has ever collapsed due to fire in the history of this uh, of steel frames. And don't even get me started on building number 6, WTC 6, or 8 was it? Because that's the most ridiculous thing of all. What brought that one down? It wasn't hit by a plane. So, you know, and then the evidence of the jet fuel burning at what 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes I mean, there's so much. You can start just poking holes and little things, and or it's like there's nothing to stand on. There's no. I mean, you saw the buildings come down one and then the other. I mean, you understand the synchronicity of it? Are you fucking stupid? I mean, you know? I'm not getting into thermite. I'm not getting into if there was assassination, if there were bombs planted in there. I don't know. I'm not getting into that now. But you have to have an open enough mind to understand that something was pre-planned. And if something is pre-planned, that means that there's a script, there's a blueprint for things to go down. And for things to go down, that means they were like rehearsed. Things are like designed to happen. And if you just think it was those 18 Saudi Arabian hijackers without any help, any intervention from any, your head is in the sand. Your head is in the fucking sand. You just don't get it. You don't understand. Anyway, that's like 0.05% of what I'll get into next month. And, it's just it's an incredible event, that happened. And it really it wasn't addressed properly. It wasn't like looked into. It was just kind of like what did we do? What good came out of it? Created like said, well, terrorism. Meanwhile, if you think about it, like the only people who have been punished is us. It's the Taliban, these retards. You see these people out there in the desert with those like RPGs. They can't even fucking, they got like those AK, shooting out these nothings, these idiots. You're telling me like it's there's a lot more to the story than you can comprehend. Okay. Remember, we have to create reasons for things to happen. And I want you to really, really, really think about that. What are you saying? Can U.S. like government killed 3,000 people? Yay! It wouldn't surprise me. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me. It's like the needs of the many, outweigh the needs of the few. You have to understand why things happen. You have to open up your mind. And that's a very difficult sheep and lamb, whatever. Have people with their heads in the sand, they don't have an open mind. That's why people criticize like Jesse Ventura and everything like that. Oh, you guys crazy, conspiracy theory. Yeah, they just brush it off. They don't, you're not really, because your mind is not open to understanding why things happen. There's people that are fucking greedy out there and they want to get what they want, no matter what the cost. Believe it. Believe it, okay? When you walk by a homeless person, they're sitting there, what do you think? You don't give a fuck about them. You care about you. So you think it's far past that, like somebody that's really like, very powerful and wealthy not to give a fuck about 3,000 people that died in the trade centers? Yeah, I know it's a warped comparison. It's a fucked up, but I'm just telling you, like you have to open up your mind and understand that there's people out there that got a lot of fucking power and money they don't care. And that sums up that event. It does. It has to. You can't. There's no way without help those people could have pulled that shit off. You don't understand. It's not that simple. You can't just go into the cockpits of that. It's all designed to be those events were meant to happen that way. Okay. You just don't get it. It's like it's right in your face, but you don't understand. And like in a sheep, it's right in there. The sheep don't know because the sheep, the head is in the sand. How can they know? They're going along with the generic narrative. They're not doing research. They're watching the news. The news, they're not learning. They're not researching. They're just watching that. You think you're learning. You're not. You're not. The news is meant not to really educate you. It's just kind of like inform you. There's a difference. There's a difference. Like they're showing you shit as it happens after the fact though. You're not understanding what the blueprint is. The key is the script. The key, that's what you have to understand. And the players, that's the key. You're not understanding that. And a lot of it, you just don't want to, you don't want to believe it and you don't want to know. Okay. You don't want to know. Now I explained the dollar and how basically why the pyramid is on the back of the dollar. That's I guarantee people they have no idea what modern day slavery is. I mean, don't Pete Rose had a book, My Prison Without Bars, and that was based on his case. Bart Giamatti blackballed him from baseball. He bet on baseball. He broke the one of the sacrificial the rule that you can't. There's a no matter who you are. It's like Pete Rose was regarded as the greatest singles hitter ever in the history of the game. Charlie Hustle. I mean, there's no argument there. Broke Ty Cobb's record. I mean, it was unbelievable. 4,000, was it 4192? 4192 is thought to be, think about how many people at 3,000 hits. Nobody could get 4,000. Nobody except Pete Rose, well, Ty Cobb, but Pete Rose, and I think he got his 4,000th hit when he was with the Expos, because nobody would, the Phillies, the Reds, whatever, wouldn't sign him because he's too old already. So he played for the Expos for a year, and then the Reds, they saw it's like he's got a shot to be the all-time hit king. So the team where he started with, the Reds, they picked him up for like the last 2 years or whatever, and he wound up breaking Ty Cobb's record. It's one of the most important records in baseball. Of course, the most important is the home run record, which Barely Bonds eked out. Him and his steroids. But I got to admit, it was exciting as fucking hell, when Barry Bonds hit 73 home runs and then broke Aaron's record. It was unbelievable, baseball needed it. Baseball definitely needed it. And then they crushed these guys. They went after all these fucking dudes that were part of that era, McGuire, DeSosa, what they did for the game in '98. If you weren't around, then I'm very sorry for you. I have two bats. I have a McGuire gamer from '98, and I have a Sosa gamer from '98. You know what those guys did, and then they fucking got blackballed. Fucking Government went after him. It's fucking nonsense. You don't think they know? You don't think they knew about this? They ain't stupid. They go after it after it's over, after the money's been made. Then they go after it, and then they fucking go after these guys. They don't fucking do this shit when you know in the middle of their streak and shit like that because there's too much money, the fans and everything like that. Those people that own those organizations, those teams are powerful people. They're multi-billionaires, okay? You don't go out, they can't. You can't go after people like that. They're too they had to wait. And then, the government went after those McGuire individually, owner of a sports team. You know how fucking powerful those people are? Jesus. They're the elite, less than 1%, the 0.01%. Billionaire, you gotta understand. There's like what, a couple thousand billionaires on the planet. Um, they basically uh, use their power and their influence to do whatever and get whatever they want done. Period. I told you about the dude that owns that nightclub, that not far from me. You know, he's a billionaire. Okay, he wanted to have the street closed on Robertson so cars couldn't get in and whatever for that time. He made a phone call in the city of West Hollywood. Okay, yeah, they put the police and everything like that. The billionaire, okay, the billionaire gets the laws changed to get it whatever he wants for whatever reason. So just take that into consideration. That I used to think, what do you need all this money for? What do you need? Well, then I started to figure, oh shit, that's why. Yeah, because it's not just for them. It's like what they want to do is they want to be able to push around the pieces on the chessboard of society, and to be able to do that, you need to have, look, you need to pay a lot. That's how it works. Think about this. You want the best players on your team, right? Well, the best players on the team are going to cost you the most. They know. I mean, it's possible to get a prospect, for somebody that's kind of, unestablished. But once they put up big numbers, you're going to be digging in your pockets to pay for them. That's just how it works. You know, it's like top tier talent that's like popular. Top A-list actors, they get the most money because they know they're the box office draw. And that's just how it all ties in. It all relates to each other and it all ties in. There are plenty of people that have talent that don't make any money because they're either undiscovered, their talent is not bankable or marketable. And, you know, it's like that's just the way it is. Or they're not bankable or marketable. It's a combination of factors. It's could be timing, could be lots of things. There's no listen, there are bankable actors that, you know, lost their bankability. They were able to get it back after, told you about John Travolta. I mean, in the 90s, all throughout the 90s, you have nothing until, I'm sorry, the 80s. I apologize, the 80s. You know, but then Pulp Fiction was kind of like, and then snowballed that. You know, there was a, who was it? Was it in episode 3 in Star Wars, the meeting with Anakin and Chancellor Palpatine when he goes, "You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?" He goes, "No." And he goes, "Yeah. Ah, it's one that a Jedi wouldn't tell you." But Darth Plagueis the Wise was a dark lord of the Sith, and I know the whole story. To summarize, the only thing he feared was losing his power, which eventually he did. He became so powerful that the only thing he feared was losing his power, which eventually he did. That's what these people are afraid of. Okay, these people that are very wealthy, they're afraid of losing their power. Okay, or and that's what it is. You know, but eventually they will. Like everybody dies. Okay, that's inevitable, and that's so like a lot of this shit is just a power grab. Like they want to see if they can one up each other. Say, hey, look what I did, kind of thing. Hey, oh, really? Okay, well, I'll show you bigger. Now this goes back to like the atomic testing. Um, if you do your research, we did the Trinity experiments. What in the 40s, atomic bomb testing and stuff like that. Then later, not just the U.S. but then other countries. And the biggest test by the U.S. was called Castle Bravo. Was the biggest detonation of I don't know if it was a hydrogen bomb or neutron bomb, whatever. It was big. And then Russia outdid us with the Tsar Bomba, which made our Castle Bravo look like a stick of dynamite or a firecracker. And we basically said, all right, let's just we had enough. Let's just do a treaty here. No more. Uh, you win, kind of thing. That's what we said. That's what we said. He said, we don't need no more of this testing. Let's just all agree we're not going to do this anymore, and that was it. But you see, Russia had the last laugh, per se. I don't know, but it was just them saying, "Hey, you want to see something? Like we're going to show you what we can do." And in a way, think about that. Like, when I was in school, you know, I never knew who Yuri Gagarin was. I didn't know what Sputnik was. I was the first guy to go to space. I mean, it's an incredible achievement. Now, of course, we all know we taught Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. But I never knew Yuri Gagarin was the first cosmonaut, was the first dude in space. Of course, they don't put emphasis on that because when you're a kid in school and they focus on our achievements, but not about what everybody else who impacted the world. I mean, that's an immense achievement. That anyway, it's just kind of like kind of selfish in a way that we don't acknowledge other countries, that did historical things like that. I mean, that's a main thing. It would be like saying, oh, we don't acknowledge, the pyramids at Giza as being the biggest man-made, structure for 2,000 years ago. No, huh? Like, in a way, like we're kind of jealous. We boast about our own achievements, but then we don't even teach in school. We don't give zero credit to, things like that. That what other countries did, and that's just unfair. I mean, it's I don't know. I got my own views on the public education system, and the whole fucking thing. Uh, I think that high school, yeah, when I was in there 30 years ago, a lot of those kids weren't nice people anyway. They're very cliquish, and I have a very good memory from my days in high school, and how conscious I was and aware of things, and how unconscious I felt most of those people were, or maybe even are. That's why a lot of people, I think, don't go to their reunions because it brings back bad memories of shit that they kids, they I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I asked a girl I'll never forget. I asked her to the prom, and she said no, going with my friends. Girl, why? I didn't go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go so fast. It's like you could live right in the middle of entertainment central. It don't fucking mean nothing. It doesn't. I used to get like really mad about that, but I go, you know what? That's okay. Like I heard somebody say, it's meant to be. It's meant to be. It just depends what your definition of success is. Now I know the narrative of this topic was the subject was a lot of goylem out there. And at night, yeah, like my route takes me usually by them, and I just like to I like to walk. I like to get out there and live while I'm alive. And unfortunately, it's like like a bad element sometimes at night. But I guess that's how it works. It's walked by that 24-hour fitness, and I say, said to myself, shame that place ain't open. Can't go in anyway. I'm banned from 24-hour fitness. That's a subject for another episode. But if you go back and you listen to my others, you probably could figure out why. Just combative naturally, and fucking trainer tried to say something to me, and I just fucking said, dude, you're fucking you're messing with the wrong dude, man. It got me 86 from there. Oh, I'm an intense guy. I think you have to be to forge your body. If you, I watched like a little of Dorian Yates. He was talking about like somebody, the narrator was saying, while other bodybuilders were out like taking pictures and posing, by the beach or whatever, this guy was working. I mean, he had access to a gym. It was like a dungeon, and it was like real gut grinding with his trainer, or whoever was pushing him, like unfucking believable, like making all this noise and working hard. And you just don't see that when you go to a gym. You see people like they ain't even breaking a sweat. They're on their phones and everything. It's like a library almost. I say that to myself every time I go in the crunch. It's like people, they're physically there, but they're not there mentally. You know, they're not. And my friend Chris, no offense to him, but he just doesn't. He went to the gym for years and years and years. But if you don't know what you're doing while you're there, you're not gonna, your gains are gonna be just about so minimal. I mean, like, it tells me walks on a treadmill. Like, where's the logic in that? If you're can't even walk to the gym. If you're walking on a treadmill there, well, you're not going anywhere. That's a pun, you know. You're literally not going anywhere. Now you don't have to lift maniacally like Dorian Yates to make any gains, but my point is that you know there's so many exercises, so much things you could be doing. Um, but if you don't know how your body works, you're just going along with what you think Arnold shows you, talks about or shows you in a book or something. Like he's God or something. I mean, Arnold is Arnold, okay? But let me tell you something. Without all that gear and with all that stuff, yeah, he's got knowledge. He knows his shit, I'm sure. But he's just a glorified chosen one. I mean, there's so many people you know, I mean, they just don't get the recognition. It's like all the recognition went to him. Everything. And so everybody looks at his advice. Oh, you can build like him. You ain't no fucking way without stabbing yourself with a syringe of growth hormone or wind straw or whatever, and taking oral anabolics and all that shit. No, 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 and no, no. I design my workouts based on my unique body, like how I feel like would work best for me. And your workout should be custom tailored for your unique body, not what works well for Arnold. You want more shape, you're going to be doing more type of like, moving around stuff and not treadmill. You want to be more cut like that. You want density, you got to lift, a combination of like heavy type of like exercises, compound exercises that are, build more density. It's just not one size fits all. Wow, I put a lot of time into the years. I didn't know, like, I mean, I thought, excuse me, I thought like, actually, I'll be honest with you, thought like I was going to be a pro baseball player, and then I thought like I could be a wrestler. I really did. Now, I'm only 5'9", but I was close to 200 at one point. And I sized myself up with guys that I really admired that I was able to meet. I remember I met Chris Jericho. I was bigger than him when I met him. He was probably off cycle and stuff, but still. And a lot of the cruiserweights that I met. I remember Jamie Noble. Now the heavyweights, no. I don't care at my peak or whatever. I saw Mick Foley, Goldberg, Batista, Cena. No, 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 no. I wasn't in their league. I remember people working with the WWE. I was at the hotel, and they're like, even at my peak, and they go, "You're not as big as Cena." They were telling me, and I said, "I never said I was. I never said I was." And I believed I could have been like, sent to like a developmental program, possibly, to be looked at. I remember I went to this after that night. I remember that when they told me that, they go, "You're not like Cena." There was a wrestling school that opened up in Burbank or Glendale. Rikishi was there, and there was this dude. that was getting. He was just wanting to learn how to wrestle. He was a pretty big dude, and a couple years later, I heard about him. And it became Rushchev. That was him. I remember. I was there with him. I was in the ring, and these guys. I mean, I was really small. They're big dudes. Um, they're it's like that total package. The charisma, to being able to talk, a character, and just the ring ability, and be big. Yeah, it's like they have everything. Um, I don't. It's kind of small. And I started seeing some of these guys lately, like they're pretty good, like Dolph Ziggler. He doesn't look that big, but apparently he's a really good ring technician, and so he knows how to talk very well. So there are anomalies. There are people that find their way in, um, find their way through. But what happened with me, I just like, I don't know. I think I was like 37. It might have been like 10 years ago. And I just was like, you know what? I just don't think you know what? I don't got what it takes for this. You know? Rick Drazen, God rest his soul, he had a ring in his backyard. I remember I talked to him on the phone and I said, well, can I come in there and practice by myself? And he goes, who are you going to wrestle, yourself? You got to be working with people. You can't, it's not something you can do on your own. And I guess kind of somebody that likes to do things on my own. So maybe that's why it didn't work. Um, you know, I train like my martial arts, boxing, whatever. I do it all on my own. So why I do that now, it does help me improve my dancing. But I think it's good for confidence after what I've been through. If you go back to my first couple episodes, you know why I got into that. So there's your answer. Because there's goylem out there. Yeah, there always will be. All right. Well, anyway, I hope that you came away with something from this episode. It was pretty good. I try to be open with you people, so that way, you know, open and honest. While I can. Boy, sometimes you just don't see the success on the climb. You don't even feel like you're moving ahead. I saw this one coin called like Baby Doge today. And, I was like looking at other crypto companies. It's like, oh, maybe you should buy this Baby Doge thing. It's like, it's like you got like a million of them for like a penny or something like that. But I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'll look into that. I'm still hoping that ACH will go another 10x or 20x just once. That would get me in my condo. I just need it one more time. I just got. I'm just gonna leave the money in there because how many chances you get. Sometimes you just gotta hang in there. You gotta fucking hang in there. It's just gotta be right once. That's it. When I mean right once, I mean like not a couple thousand. I need it. When I mean right once, you gotta hit big once. Big is relative. Anyway, John Cena told me I'll never forget. Big ain't nothing. Yeah, well, you gotta be, you know, those guys, dude. You can't. Yep. Anyway, okay. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will fighting, keep fighting forward, my friends. Hang tough, and keep the climb going.